Why do you think it's so important that they get you to lower your energy to the most extreme level of frequency, vibration, and density? That's because that's how they suppress, mitigate, attenuate, and devolve every aspect of your divine, ethereal, luminous being. Whenever you consciously or subconsciously assimilate negative energy, it immediately adversely affects your demeanor, which triggers a shift, causing your mood to adversely be affected and change detrimentally. Now view your mood as that of being something in the internal, like a nucleus, a broadcast tower. And then once your mood is abruptly shifted into a negative, you begin transmitting that in the form of your attitude, which is an externalized expression of that broadcast. You must monitor your feelings and emotions, your thoughts, impulses, instincts, ideas, actions, because these are prime indicators as to specifically what types of energies, frequencies, and vibrations you're transmitting to the cosmos, and inevitably and eventually shall receive in return in the form of experience that match both the dominant and subdominant vibrations of these projections. So they get you to destroy yourself, because like I've said in many videos, the darkness will always give you everything you need in order for you to destroy yourself, because you don't seem to learn from what's going on. You never seem to wake up and realize. Sometimes life has to shake you to wake you. Some people have to be taken to the greatest of extremes before you go into their attention, before they go, oh, I didn't know that. What is this? It's just been there the whole time. They just refuse to believe it. People like myself who are deemed conspiracy theorists and all of these things have been saying this for years. And, because people are locked in the matrix, they look at you like you're crazy, you're nuts. As soon as somebody's deemed a conspiracy theorist, they're immediately labeled a full-blown nut job wearing a tinfoil hat going down the rabbit hole. Now, it's that way by design, because in 1963, the CIA created the moniker conspiracy theorist to deal with anybody who dare counter or question the social narrative that's being spoon-fed through social media, the news, newspapers, whatever it is. It's all a part of their MK Ultra project. It's all nonsense. It's all psychological warfare that's incessantly waged upon the human mind. And they do it over and over again because you folks don't never seem to catch on. You just don't ever seem to get it. That's why you keep voting for the same politicians. And as I've said in previous videos, there is no public official that is elected by the people. They are selected by this cult. And if you don't believe that, that's fine. If you believe that we live in a democracy, that's your business. We exist under the draconian rule of a plutocratic kleptocracy. If you believe that you have rights, look up the definition of the word eminent domain. The right of a government to appropriate private property for public use, usually with compensation, which means that if they want your house that's been slated to be a highway or an airport, they're going to bulldoze it, whether you want it to happen or not. They sometimes offer you compensation, but they don't have to. So democracy is an illusion. Like George Carlin said in one of his stand-up routines many years ago, if you believe that you have rights, look up Japanese internment camps, World War II, right here in this country. These are American-born citizens of Japanese descent that were thrown into basically concentration camps during World War II for, I think, 4 or 5 years. They were stripped of their constitutional rights, their inalienable rights, their civil liberties, everything. So you don't have rights. I'm digressing. My apologies. Back to my initial point and subject matter, the context of this video is that whenever you assimilate negative energy, the external darkness works in tandem with your inner demons in order to push that positivity out of you. It's referred to as the push, because your soul can be pushed out of your body, and you can actually view your physical body from a distance, whereas other souls are animating it and manipulating it. It happens all the time. So basically, if they find that you're ascending and elevating into conscious enlightenment awareness, they will try to get you to destroy yourself. Because as I've said in many videos, the darkness will always give you everything you need in order for you to destroy yourself, because we're primitive beings. We're prehistoric. We operate on base instinct and impulses, rudimentary impulses, predatory reflexes. We're primordial. We're primitive. We're prehistoric, Stone Age. There was a movie a long time ago called The 5-Year Engagement, where he said something very profound, but it's very true. He says, underneath all the pleasantries, we're all just running on caveman software. It's true. It's so true. So they know this. They know that the human imagination and the human mind and the human experience and the human condition are all primitive. They're very primal. Why do you think all of these people who have such great relationships ruin them? Because those primal instincts take over and they want to sleep with everybody that they can. And they ruin that relationship that they have. It's the same old paradigm. It's just the same predictability of humanity. But anyway, once you assimilate that negative energy, then you begin to have a conscious shift in your environment. So then your mood, your demeanor changes, which causes an alteration in your mood, which shifts your attitude. Now you are both transmitting and receiving negativity because you're projecting it. Now you're working as an ally, not a nemesis for the darkness. And when you keep constantly and continually doing this throughout your day, by the time you go to sleep, that gets locked in your subconscious. And you're basically handing a package to your soul. And your soul, once it departs the body and travels to dream state, it's not going to travel to dream state. It's going to travel to the realm of nightmares, incubus. Now, what happens is when you physically fall asleep, your soul departs this astral plane of existence. Your dreams don't come to you, you go to them. And the reason the body has a multitude of souls is because that's what animates the vessel, while your primary soul is in departure mode. So when you're sleeping and you think that you're dreaming about someone who's passed, or you're dreaming about this or that, and what we're made to believe is that your dreams come inside your head here. That's what you're made to believe, that they somehow magically are just placed there, and all this magical stuff happens right in here. Your imagination, your intelligence, your perception, your intuition, your awareness, your wisdom, your knowledge, a database, it's all locked in here. That's what they want you to think, but that's a lie. Nothing is locked in here except a lump of adipose, because the human brain is primarily comprised of both fat and water, locked inside an allegory cave, which is your skull. And that's what they control. It's analogous to the placebo effect. If somebody can convince you of something being something, then the mind will go, okay, and then it'll work feverishly on behalf of whatever has deceived it into believing that what it was told is actual reality. So it will manifest that. It's basically one gigantic placebo effect experiment that works constantly, and it's flawless because they know how to manipulate the human mind. They could do it from remote sources using HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. There's one up in Alaska. Basically, they pulverize the ionosphere with sonic waves until it bends, and then they use chemtrails, which contain metal particulates to which HAARP bounces off of. It's like a reflector or a mirror, so they can aim this weather warfare or mind control anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter what you believe. The truth negates belief. Been going on for decades. All of these things that are attributed to act of God are actually unnatural acts, that they're manipulating the weather patterns. But anyway, when you fall asleep, you marinate in an unconscious state of mind, whereas now your body is in a transitory situation. It's basically acting as a conduit or a tether, an anchor for the soul. So basically, your physical body is anchoring itself to this astral plane of existence, while your soul travels to the unlimited vast expanse of what is referred to by the system as the great unknown. Oh, it's spooky, it's scary. You ever wonder why they call it the great unknown? Because things that are unknown are scary, unfamiliar. Oh, don't go near that. That we don't know what that is. Stay away from that. Yeah, stay away from nature. Stay away from the supernatural. Stay away from the cosmos. We'll take care of you. We'll tell you what that is, and we'll explain what this is, because we take care of you. Just like you're the child and we're the parent. That's exactly how they set it up to be. And you guys just never figure it out. That you're not only are you being treated like children, you're being treated like slaves. And that's what you are, locked in their system, unless you wake up. What they have planned is hundreds of thousands of years of eternal darkness. Microchipping people in their hands and their foreheads. If you don't believe me, look it up. Today, March 1st, 2022, the United Nations is now declaring that there will be an intergovernment, meaning their one world, new world order. their work, they're pushing it. It's not to say that it's going to happen, because it won't. God won't allow it, but they're going to give it their best. But anyway, when you venture out, your soul ventures out into this vast cosmos, if the last thing that you experienced or read or absorbed or gleaned or imbibed or whatever it is was something of a negative nature, that's what the soul is going to carry with it. And it will take it not to the dream state, which is a divine collective consciousness of all dreams, not just those of human beings, because every form of life dreams. You know, the ocean dreams, trees, they dream, the soil, it dreams, the mountains and rocks have dreams as well as alligators and fish and whales and birds and spiders, and they all dream. They're all tapped into the divine collective, even more than human beings, because they don't have a matrix inhibiting and pervading their imagination. We do. If you want to see heaven on earth, look at special needs individuals, because their minds cannot be tainted or invaded. They cannot be robbed of their innocence and purity. So that's why this system tucks them away. You don't see them in society too often. Why do you think that is? They used to be called mentally retarded, and they were lobotomized and put in institutions. And the parents were told, well, we'll take care of it. Don't worry. We're going to lock this person up in an institution. You'll never have to worry about this again. Why do you think that is? Because this system cannot penetrate them, cannot affect them, cannot taint them, cannot isolate them, cannot brainwash and manipulate them, cannot control them. So therefore, they are of no use to the system. The same with homosexuals, bisexuals. It's all. Let me tell you something. Everything comes from God. Doesn't matter what you believe. Again, the truth negates belief. Source is the source of all creation, not just the stuff that you choose to be palatable to your tender, fragile reality, or that you cherry pick. It's nonsense. You didn't choose heterosexuality, did you? Well, they didn't choose to be homosexual or bisexual, whatever the new terminology is. These choices were made long before you incarnated in physical form on planet Earth. These attributes, sexual preferences, it's the diversity that we should celebrate, not the division that we should fight over. This is a celestial enclave, this planet Earth. That's why they refer to it as Revelation Earth. It's a highly detailed assessment platform to which that the celestial bodies are watching and researching, assessing, testing. Humanity is the youngest species in comparison throughout all of the universe, even to this Earth. This Earth is billions of years old, even though time is an illusion, and the Earth itself is nothing more than a celestial mirage. I've been personally witness to this actual event, but I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, just be careful of negative energy, because it can very easily shift your demeanor, your mood, your attitude, your thinking, your impulse instincts, and then you begin to become an ally for the darkness. And if you take that with you when you go to sleep, that's what your soul is going to deliver to the universe in the form of a request. And then when you wake up the next day, it's rinse, lather, repeat. And then you're just perpetuating the darkness, and you're doing no good to anybody, especially yourself, and especially to the energies that comprise the Earth's collective consciousness. If you think of the Earth's collective consciousness as you would a well in the middle of a town, we're all drawing our water from that resource. So if you're tainting it and polluting it and poisoning it, you're killing all of us. Because the Earth's collective consciousness is a body of energy that from which we all feed, not just human beings. Why do you think it is if there's a natural disaster that's going to happen in 3-4 days from now, all of the animals are attuned to that vibration, so they take off days in advance, because they don't have a physical matrix impeding their mind, hindering their imagination, attenuating, diminishing, depleting, and devolving their ultra-high vibrational connection to the divine. But human beings do. You don't see cats and dogs turning on the news and then lowering their vibration and then absorbing that energy and becoming a catalyst for it, a catalyst of their own demise as well as those around them. You don't see it. But human beings just incessantly have this. That's why they call it the feed. Breaking news, murder, rape, death, violence, conflict, struggle. Breaking news, because you can't get enough of it because you're negative. You feast off that garbage. That's how they can continually keep you in a very suppressed, very isolated, dense energy for the duration of your life. Meditation nullifies malevolence. You will find no truth on the news. The only truth that any news broadcast organization tells is the final scores of sporting events. That's the only truth. The rest of it is scripted fiction that has been sent to them by Pfizer, because Pfizer runs the news. So you're not getting the truth. You're getting scripted fiction and lies, folks. And that's how they keep you suppressed, isolated, sequestered, depleted, fatigued into compliance, deteriorated, devolved, expunged, wiped away, erased, drained, attenuated, diminished. I can go on and on, devolved, They circumscribe your imagination with physical integuments continuously. They block you, they stop you, they get you to kill yourself. They do it all the time because they're very good at it. They know how to tap into the cosmic energies and utilize them to their own nefarious end. And they do it all the time. Hollywood is a prime example of this. You revere these luminaries, celebrities, dignitaries. You put them in the pantheon of greatness, the iconoclasts. But yet these very people are a part of a cult that would, if you knew what they were really doing, who they were, you'd throw up. But yet you live vicariously through the lives of these individuals by continually reading from their book of dreams instead of writing your own. So you squander your entire life, all your time, attention, effort, and energy on this delusional fantasy world where you think that they live some great grandeur, this amazing life. They don't. They're demons. Why don't you admire yourself, revere yourself, utilize the God-given energies that the universe gave you to do something constructive with your time and substantial, instead of staring at your phone all day long, having media-based conversations with the words blah, 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 where you can't even maintain eye contact and you can't even speak clear, concise, colloquial English anymore. Over the last 4 decades, I have personally witnessed the collective intellectual of this planet slowly devolve to such a deteriorated degree that very few people actually possess the capacity for self-thought, let alone self-action, because the minds of the few control the minds of the many. When everyone is thinking the same, no one is thinking at all. And that's how they're controlling you folks. But you're still not getting it. But very, very soon, changes are going to come, and they're going to force you to wake up one way or another. You're either going to wake up or you're going to be buried. So don't be a catalyst for the darkness, because what happens is it's like a domino effect. That inertia travels through like a chain reaction and knocks every one of them down. The process is simple. There's a negative external energy that transfers that negative external energy. You absorb it, you assimilate it. Now once you absorb it, you begin to carry it, and then you pass it on to others. And that's how the chain reaction follows, domino after domino after domino after domino, until it comes across that one domino that is not freestanding on the surface of the table. That's how it's easily knocked over. It comes across the one domino that's freaking glued to the floor, and it will not move, and it will not allow that inertia to pass through it. That's where the chain reaction dies. Be that one domino that refuses to fall, and you watch how fast this world changes.